The Bernie Sanders people? Oh, speaking of which, that reminds me. I'm going to play. All right, let me see. I want to see what those clips sound like if I play them to you off my phone. I like that I have a a thing, like a messenger on my phone that's just me, and it says just you. It doesn't say my name. It just says just you. Let's see how this sounds.
The fact that Debbie Wasserman Schultz stepped down to appease us and Hillary hired her
Is that clear?
split seconds later to
That
run her
sounds
campaign,
really good.
it shows that Hillary's involved in all of it,
Okay.
as is Obama. I am going to wait to see where I think my vote
I love this part.
most hurt Hillary.
Where most hurt Hillary.
Trump. I've been a Democrat my whole life. I'm 60 years old, and it'll be the first time I've ever cast a vote for a Republican. But if
All right, let me grab a cord to make sure my phone doesn't die on me, and then we'll use those clips.
Okay.
All right, that's set up. We are live again, just so you're aware. All right, so we'll do our intro bit whenever we're ready, and then do you want to start like with just the emails, and then move into the DNC from there, and just hash out whatever? I mean, because what I really want to do is I want to hit. Do you like if you have that 3-page thing that I sent you? It starts with Sarah Silverman.
Holy shit, dude! That Sarah Silverman does that include the hold on?
Where she said
ads.
To the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous. This is our Democratic nominee, and I will proudly vote for her.
Yeah.
The course of booze and Bernie chants continued throughout the rest of Silverman and Senator Al Franken's introduction to Paul Simon's performance.
Dude, that was great.
But that way we have like an organized flow of what we're talking about, and then we can just stay on with this. And then, like, what are these articles I have? So the first thing we'll talk about is the emails. We'll get into that. And then we'll go from there into this list. So if you want to, I don't know if you have a way to print that or if you're just cool kind of looking at it and using it from that.
Yeah, let me pull it up. I'll put it on my second screen.
Okay.
I just had it up and I accidentally closed it out because I was trying to turn off Facebook. I gotta go grab it out of the chat again.
Okay.
I'm
trying to think of. Okay.
I got this.
I wanted to let you know what happened yesterday.
Is that my phone? Oh yeah, it is. What was the other one that I wanted to? There were 3 videos, and I thought I sent them all to myself. What video did I send you last?
I think the last one you sent me was the Fox News, the chick being. Oh no, wait.
That's right. That's right.
I mean, not counting.
No, the last video clip I sent you was not the one that I just played. It was the crowd booze.
Oh.
It was the Tim Kaine. It was Tim Kaine. That's what I sent you.
Dude, yeah, that one was great.
So we'll start with that piece. Like, I'll just, I'm going to play the piece, and then after he's done talking, I'll just go, "Welcome to Liberty Coast to Coast" with Keith and Code. Or, yeah, that work? Or do you want to do the intro?
Let's be honest. I think if we do the intro to anything less than Katy Perry, we are not.
Okay, so let's do this. Can you have Katy Perry queued up on your phone? I'll play the Tim Kaine piece. Then you play Katy Perry after the piece is over. The piece is 18 seconds.
Do you want Katy Perry? Okay, do you want the actual Katy Perry or do you want the interview where he sees Kim Jong-un?
Play it. Play both of them.
Okay.
Katie, who I don't know.
I don't know if you can.
I can hear it.
The night, like it's the 4th of July. 'Cause keep the 4th line and let it shine.
Not the chorus, please.
The night, like
Bernie supporters be like.
Okay, I think we just play the actual song though, because that's too chaotic to listen to.
I realized this. I was trying to figure out if there was I was clicking around trying to see if there was a point where it was like really good a cappella, but
you just what it is.
That's a stretch.
Just like a house of feel so paper.
Hold on.
Oh, we have 2 people in here watching us right now, by the way.
Oh, really?
I just looked down at the viewers. It says 2. I think one's Brian Genther. Well, because every time we post something, it'll alert them that we're shooting.
He's good. He's one of my local guys. He's fucking awesome.
I'm glad you said that, because if we started talking shit on him live, that wouldn't be a good idea.
No,
shout out to Brian Genther for not pissing us off bad enough for us to talk shit about you live.
No, he's actually pretty legit. He's out.
No, I know he is. He's been a very big supporter since we started, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Hold on.
All right. So you guys get to see, whoever's still here actually gets to see the behind the scenes of the nonsense that we go through. Like, if you guys watched the pre-cut from the last one, we were actually in tears laughing.
That's probably better than our actual release, to be honest.
Yeah, no, really it is, because it's just honest. I don't even remember what we were talking about. I don't even remember what we were talking about, but it was so funny that I was in tears. What's funny though, you know what I realized? I'm looking down at my shirt. It says ad finum, right? And then Hillary Clinton spoke tonight, and the ad finum means the end.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Oh, yes, you do.
No, I don't. I never heard that before.
What are you playing? Will you queue up what you're supposed to queue up?
I'm getting it right now.
I don't know what you're saying.
Are you putting it on your phone? What are you playing it off of? Just the computer?
I'm just playing it off of the thing because I can't get any signal down here on my phone. I was trying that before. So what I'm thinking is, right where he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. That's when we cut it and go live from the DNC convention. Bernie supporters,
Yeah, right.
Face the music as their boos are drowned out by Katy Perry.
yeah. Go, but you intro that then, because you can see where the cut is.
Yeah, I'm just trying to get the cut perfect. And again, Brian, if you're enjoying this,
there's only one person in here now, and it's some mystery guest. I don't know if it's Brian. I don't know who it is. I can't see who they are. I can just see that it says one viewer.
It's Mazarone.
I don't think we have. Oh, we do have the messenger board. Let me see. Nope, nobody said anything in there. Questions? Does anybody ask any questions? I suppose I could leave that open. Yeah. Whatever. What are you playing?
You do.
No, I don't. I never heard that before in my life.
Do you
All right, so if I go from 20 seconds to 33, I'm just going to play the clip that I want to play right now.
Okay.
All laughing aside.
Feel so paper thin, just like a house of cards. One girl from caving in.
I don't know what you're singing.
You know exactly what it is.
No.
All right, I'm down with it.
31.
I'm down with it.
Let's start from 21 because he kind of was like half on a word.
Yeah.
Yeah, it starts at 21. Starts around feels so paper thin.
Okay.
So I gotta think how I want to intro this. Okay, so here's the cut one more time because this is gold.
Feel so paper thin, just like a house of cards. One girl from caving in.
I don't know what you're singing.
You know exactly what it is.
No, though.
You don't need to lie anymore. Katy Perry's your favorite.
Okay.
Stop, yeah, stop it right after he says Katy Perry's your favorite. Dude,
That's
do
a
the right there.
Okay, hold on. Let me see if I can get exactly where that is. Because I started laughing and I had to click back to your reaction because I knew it was coming.
Huh. I just noticed you had your glasses back. The guy didn't,
Yeah.
you know, got it all back.
Yeah, well, the good thing was only the frame broke on the side here.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a cheap fix, which is
No,
cool.
there you go. And it was a cheap shot for a cheap fix. Who knew?
Dude, but my eyes still fucked up a little. Hopefully
Well,
it
your
doesn't-
face is fucked up a lot, so you're fine.
Aw, I has a sad.
Hashtag the feels.
You're singing.
You know exactly.
Dude, that guy's voice in the background is awful. You're singing.
Katie, who? I don't know who you're talking about.
You just gotta ignite the light and let
No, do this part. Do this part.
The chorus, please.
Where he's just saying you've just got to ignite the light. Do that part.
Hold on. Let me see if I find a good place where that starts.
Not the chorus.
the light, the night,
Just a little bit more.
you just gotta ignite the light and let it shine.
Not the chorus, please.
The night, like it's the 4th of July. Cause Kimmy, you're a firework. Going
That's so bad.
and make them go, oh, 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 as you sail across the sky.
Is this a Bernie Sanders support? Is that what these people are? What is this clip from?
This is the interview, but it could be mistaken for Bernie supporters being drowned out.
Okay, I see what you're. So that's what you're gonna play it off as.
Well, that's what I'm thinking. Like the latest scandal out of the DNC was Katy Perry being played to drown out the boos of Bernie Sanders supporters. Here we go live to the DNC floor, or here's a live cut from the DNC floor right after Hillary finished her acceptance speech.
You just gotta ignite the light and let it shine.
Not the chorus, please.
The night,
I like it. Yes, that's perfect. That is perfect. Let's run with that.
Okay. I could watch that all day for the record.
Especially because he goes, "Not the chorus, please, not the chorus."
Okay, so
Right,
I've got
do that.
that on cue. 42 is the golden second.
So then you're gonna
Unless-
jump. You're gonna jump in, do the intro then.
So how about I say I give us welcome to Liberty. So we're gonna have our musical intro, right?
Right.
And I'm gonna say welcome to Liberty Coast to Coast. We're here to talk to you about the DNC convention. Here's a recent clip from Hillary's acceptance speech of Bernie supporters on the floor getting drowned out by Katy Perry. And then as it plays through and be like, it's been a tough week for Bernie Sanders supporters. And
Yeah.
go off into the articles.
That's fine. Works for me.
Okay. Dude, the look on, I'm going to send this to you so you can watch it for your own glee. But the look on Franco's face in this clip, I'm gonna have trouble keeping it together on camera. I mean, I'll keep my mouth shut.
But yeah. Well, the video doesn't matter. The video is just extra goodies.
But oh my god, this shit is too funny, dude. So okay. So there's our intro clip. What do we want to go to next? Do we want to go to? We definitely need Bernie being booed.
Mhm.
Like this may be a lot of us listening to clips and just laughing at them. And I have no problem. I wish I had a monocle for this piece to be like, yes, you silly socialist.
It's hard to do that with. It's hard to do that with yellow sunglasses or eyeglasses.
Well, if I had a monocle and a cigar and maybe like a top hat. Well, Well, like that's what they think of us as.
That's true. It's so the socialists think of us like that. Everybody else thinks of us with like a doobie in their mouth, a prostitute, and Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead.
A hooker
Actually,
for every day.
They think of us as rolling doobies with pages of The Fountainhead.
I wouldn't do that to The Fountainhead.
I wouldn't either.
Though I did keep a mini Bible once.
Oh my God.
Once.
You heretic.
I've never claimed to be religious. I do respect Christians, though. They tend to be the most in line with liberty principles. That's Mormons. Listen.
And who?
I have yet to see a Mormon fuck anything up. They've annoyed the piss out of me, but they've never done anything actually wrong that I can document.
Well, there are some questionable things in terms of marriage, but that's neither here or there when they start talking about polygamy.
I think the Mormons are onto something.
Okay.
They treat wives like Pokemon. You know, you just got to catch them all. I mean, come on. Variety is the spice of life.
Have you seen the video of the guy and he's out there? He's like, how to catch hot chicks. And he's running out there and they have a Pokeball. And he's literally hucking. He is hucking a plastic Pokeball at women. Just like full on throwing it at them.
They even know.
And they're just like, what the fuck? It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'll have to find it. But there's also another clip of these guys that are running around. They're running around. What?
Oh,
no, I was saying there's like 6 guys, and 5 of them are dressed up as 2 of them are Pikachu, and 3 of them are like Charmanders, and they're dressed up in these costumes, and they just run around the city, run in the middle of the street, and then they have like the guy dressed as Ash Ketchum, and he's chucking Pokeballs at him. It's pretty good too.
That's pretty decent.
Yeah, I really want to reenact that. That'd be freaking, especially like go down to where the Pokestops are and just terrorize little kids. It'd be a lot of fun. What did you say?
Oh, crap. Van's like, I'm watching.
Oh, it's Van. There's 2 people in here.
Oh, crap.
Why? Why?
Well, nothing. Just the fact that there's people seeing us do our pre-planning nonsense. They're going to know all the goodness. They're going to know about my love for Mormons.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I think a lot of problems would be solved if we could have more than one wife. And I don't think that's the government's business to get in the way of that.
You're right. It's not the government's business unless they force you to live in a commune. The Mormons, I mean, not the government. Well, the government too. The government shouldn't do that also. Let's make that very clear. The government should not be able to force you to live in a commune either.
Yeah, and let's not mistake this as an endorsement of Mitt Romney.
No. But he is allowed to endorse Gary. I'm okay with that. I just don't want Mitt running.
Endorse Gary last night.
Gary's for humanitarian wars.
I'm so confused on that one. I'm so fucking confused.
Should I have said that out loud?
You may have.
Are we allowed to say that?
What, fucking?
No, that Gary's for humanitarian wars. Charles Perallo going to come after me?
Oh, no.
All right. I say we get to this. What do you say?
Oh, yeah, Brian just sent me a message. My balls would be cut off by my current wife. He probably did. He probably sent that to me in a private message, so he didn't hear that out loud, but I just said it out loud. Sorry. Brian, if you're still seeing this, it was the adorable cat picture that you have that made me want to say it out loud.
Alrighty. So which is this one? Booze. Oh, I have. Oh, okay. I have the Clintons. Or the Clinton. I have Bernie being booed, so I'll play that as well.
All right. So we got Bernie being booed. We also
the Trump hater. Or sorry, the Hillary hater who might vote for Trump.
That was incredible.
Then we have the Tim Kaine. The Tim Kaine on Hillary should be held accountable for her emails.
And to answer Van, I will be playing my vacation tomorrow.
Oh, we got 3 people in here. It's a party!
Woo!
Wow, this is a lot of viewership prior to you guys better still check out the actual clip of this so that way you guys get a clean edited version as opposed to the nonsense that happens for half an hour before we actually shoot. If Keith and I just did our job, we would probably work an hour a week with this. But instead, we sit around here for 45 minutes prior to taping about all the nonsense that we can talk about.
Yeah, but that's why the pre-recordings in these live shows are way better than the real thing.
Yeah, you guys may want to go back and watch just the pre-recordings. So, just
We'll call them the secret tapes.
Yeah, we'll call them Nixon's deleted minutes.
So yeah, so for recordings, let's try and stay on business.
Yeah,
trying. Crap.
So you've got. Did you fuck it up?
Yeah, for whatever reason, the page, like 3 of my pages just refreshed, and the one I had.
Oh, good. That's good.
That's okay. I have the seconds down.
I don't know what you're Katy Perry. Not you just talking about.
Okay, I think you've got what queued up? You've got Bernie, you've got Hillary lady saying fuck Bernie.
No, she's saying I have Bernie lady saying fuck Hillary.
Yeah. Sorry.
I have that. I also have Tim Kaine saying that Hillary should be or that he would have been held responsible for the email issue.
Right, and I want to have up the meme going around about Tim Kaine because I think that is all that needs to be talked about with Kaine in addition to that comment.
Right.
Literally, we could read that, and people have seen it, and people know it, but it's, god damn, it sums everything up beautifully. Like, well done.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty solid. All right, so whenever you've got those all queued up, go ahead and you're doing the intro, yes?
Yeah. So I'm going to say our little welcome to Liberty Coast to Coast. And then I'm going to say from the DNC convention and play the interview clip.
Okay.
And we'll roll from there. And if there's anything that we really fuck up on, we get that in the post edit.
Yes.
Yes.
I don't think it'll happen. No, I think we're pretty. This is fairly easy flow of events because it all leads to itself. So,
actually, I got a question.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Oh,
I answered it with one click. I was gonna say it. Well, I was just gonna ask, is the convention still broadcasting?
I hope not.
Yeah,
I hope the burners got in there and ripped her to she's probably in 6 pieces in her white little suit. Now she's in her after she got off stage.
I'm still amazed that suit had pockets and
I was really mad that I lost the outfit bet.
I actually lost $50 because I said she wouldn't make it through the night without coughing.
Oh, she didn't cough. She just
Though at one point she looked like she was gonna bark. That would have been another.
I was so looking forward to it. I'll talk about that in the show, but
yeah, I know. We're getting off topic again. All right. God damn. It's a good thing only 3 people are seeing this nonsense.
Right.
And you are our 3 best people. People who are out there.
Whoever you are, mystery people. Probably Van, Tony, Gemma, and Brian.
Our 3 most dedicated fans. All right.
I expect a share of this episode from all 3 of you. If you're so dedicated, I expect a share. All right. Whenever you're ready. I'll give you a 3, 2, 1, and we'll get started.
Cool.
Good.
And for whatever reason, make sure you're fucking. If your mic starts to fuck up again, I'm going to just come out and say, yo, your mic's fucked. Cut this.
It hasn't done it yet since we fixed it, so hopefully it won't do it again.
Yeah.
All right. Whenever. Can you turn off whatever's dinging?
I'm about to. I know I'm dinging. I'm trying to. Damn it. Stop
messaging him.
Well, it's like the Google. I gotta go into fucking Chrome because I have.
Brian messaged me, said 10-4. Thanks, Brian.
Well, no, it's Google is like, hey, you're not on Facebook. You should know Facebook.
I don't want to be here anymore.
Like, that's why I closed the window. I got adulting to do.
I don't know if this counts as adulting.
In our world, it does.
That's true. This is as close as it gets, at least. All right, when you get everything closed, let's do this.
All right. All right, everything's closed. This should be good.
All right, ready? Silent.
Oh, crap. Van's already
Oh.
shared. Sorry. The fucking message is still coming up. I guess I only turned off the noise. Let me fucking go into the...
Sanders supporters are currently protesting. Brian, are you going to be like our breaking news guy? If they start lighting shit on fire, Brian, I want you to message me because I have it on my phone. It'll come up. Drop articles in the messenger if you want to be breaking news. I'll cite you as our man on Facebook.
The Jean-Guy at the front lines.
Junkie. All right, you good?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I think I'm good. This is my pledge not to get distracted.
Okay, and you're good to queue up what we need to queue up.
Yes.
All right, ready? Here we go.
Hey, you're here with... Goddamn.
Yes, that was terrible.
I know it was. Well, in the first two syllables, I'm like, nah, I just totally coded this. We can run this again.
Oh, you're such a dick.
All
All right. Hold on one second. In my excitement, I closed my my app. Okay. All right, whenever you're ready. Here we go. Quiet.
Hey, thank you for joining us here on Liberty Coast to Coast with Keith and Cody. We have a very special edition tonight, our coverage of the DNC convention. This footage I'm going to play for you now is taken from the DNC floor where Bernie supporters were drowned out by Katy Perry as Hillary did her acceptance speech.
You just got to ignite the light and let it shine.
Not the chorus, please.
The night, like it's the 4th of July. Cause Kimmy, you're a firework. Go and show them what you're worth. And make them go, oh, oh, oh.
Okay, that's enough torture. As much as I love to revel in Bernie Sanders supporters' pain, they have had a really tough week at this DNC convention. I mean, a lot of these people showed up. They traveled long distances. They paid for hotel rooms. And they put their life on the line to get this man elected. And, well, Cody, why don't you tell them a little bit about how the week got started out there for Bernie and his supporters?
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, Keith. So we all know that Hillary's had her issues with emails, and sure enough, come the DNC time, she got screwed again by more emails being leaked to apparently the Russians this time. So if you guys haven't heard about that, beyond Hillary's own personal server emails, which affected her time as Secretary of State, she now has issues with the DNC being hacked by Russians. And not so good information coming out about her relationship with Debbie Wasserman Schultz, who was the chair of the Democratic National Convention. I say was because then she was forced to step down, was replaced by a lady named Donna Brazil, who was also involved. So then she was forced to step down, and then she was eventually replaced by Marcia Fudge. Apparently, they had to fudge everything else, so they just fudged the chair as well. And, Keith, it's baffling to me how many things can go wrong so quickly. Like, I mean, typical people struggle with things, but they don't have people working around them to fix them. But I don't know anyone who's been hacked as much as Hillary Clinton.
Well, it's almost as if she doesn't understand basic security protocols or basic web defense. I mean, I don't know what would ever lead anyone to that idea. I mean, certainly James Comey didn't come to that conclusion. So,
well, let's talk about what was in these emails. How about we get there? Because otherwise, we're just going to sit here and laugh at her all night long.
Let's not forget about those poor Bernie supporters. But yeah, let's talk about those emails.
We'll come back to them, and we'll show how these emails actually lead to their crying at the convention. If you guys haven't seen that, they've been teary-eyed all convention long. People normally lose political fights and they get more active. No, these guys just turn around and cry. But what can you do when you get burned by the burn? Keith, as a Hispanic, and most people have, oh, you don't look Hispanic. Well, I am. And, I've been told by as we were talking earlier, by my women's studies professor that I can't identify as Hispanic, though I am 50%. But, I really take offense to the thing in the DNC emails where they start calling everybody the Taco Bowl voters. Like, that's not even a blatant, that's not even an attempt not to be offensive.
Header for those emails, Taco Bowl outreach.
Yeah. Yeah. And I didn't even get a Taco Bowl.
No, I mean, Trump at least has delicious taco bowls at Trump Towers.
That was the best part about this. That was the best part, is the fact that he actually had a picture of himself eating out of a taco bowl, and people gave him the same shit. And I'm wondering if that's where they got their name for this.
I mean, if anything, that just shows how much Hillary. Do you think that's another sign that the two of them are working together? They have a taco bowl conspiracy.
Yes, that might be what it is. That's probably exactly what it is. That the rest of their game plan hasn't been so elaborate. So I'm wondering if maybe they just, one, they're either cheating off each other, or two, they're in collusion, and either of them are not good scenarios. But specifically in front of me, I have the 4 big things that really came out of this. Besides the crap about Taco Bell voters or using Bernie's non-faith against him. And we'll get to that as well. But Debbie Wasserman Schultz basically went on a tirade in an email talking about, what was his name? Jeff Weaver, who was Bernie Sanders' campaign manager. And in the email, she's calling him an asshole, a liar. She just gave him the whole spiel, which is kind of ironic coming from Debbie Wasserman Schultz, wouldn't you think?
Indeed. I mean, But what do you expect from Debbie Wasserman Schultz? She hasn't exactly had a glowing track record in ethics in her career as DNC chair. If anyone remembers, it was only 3 years ago she was actually given the job when Tim Kaine stepped down as the current, or at that time, the current DNC chair, giving her the recommendation to take over for him. Now, if you guys are saying, oh, who the hell is this Kaine guy? I'm not talking about the guy who'd show up, chokeslam everybody, and cause a ruckus.
He's a libertarian.
This is true. I'm talking about Tim Kaine of Virginia, Hillary's running mate, who came as a surprise to some and was certainly an upset to Hillary supporters. Yet another strike against them.
Didn't he say something about how you would need to set somebody up to elect Hillary as president or nominate her for president? Didn't he have a quote about that? Do you remember seeing that at all? I thought he said something to the effect of, if you were going to have somebody corrupt the system big enough, you'd have to replace, or if you're going to replace somebody as the chair of the DNC to corrupt your party big enough, that you had to offer them something. Which is funny because now Tim Kaine is the vice president.
Right.
And was he not the sitting chair a couple years ago?
I believe I just covered that.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Right. I was just putting it into words. You're absolutely right. I heard it and then it came out, but you're good. So yeah.
But all that aside, Tim Kaine's up there. He's had some other words. Do you have? I mean, I remember him too.
Yeah, I know the words you're talking about. Would you like to hear them? Talking about, believe he's actually referring to Hillary and what his issue would be. Let me pull this up right here for you guys so you can hear his words. He's basically talking about Hillary and what would happen to him if he had a non-secure server, just like Hillary did. And this is obviously prior to his being nominated as vice president. And they've already flip-flopped on a couple of issues together. So let me cue this up for you, and I'll give you guys a listen to what Tim Kaine actually said.
Take classified information I get as a senator and give it to somebody with no consequence. I can't take classified information I get as a senator and give it to somebody with no consequence.
What'd you say?
I can't take classified information I get as a senator and give it to somebody with no consequence.
Oh, look at that. She barks at the end. That's even more exciting. But yeah, Tim Kaine, in his own words, said that if he had classified information that, he wasn't able to control, he would have been facing criminal charges just like any normal human being would. But because it's Hillary Clinton, she avoided it. So it's interesting that you pick a VP who she has to have known he said that, for one. Like that's not something that skirts your vetting, do you think?
I don't know if vetting is really an issue with Hillary. I mean, over this whole email scandal, we did have Debbie Wasserman Schultz resign, and I believe she was only unemployed for about 6 hours before she was co-chair of Hillary Clinton's campaign once again.
Yeah, and if you're wondering why Bernie Sanders people hate her, if you're wondering why Bernie Sanders people just can't stand Hillary, it's crap like this. It's absolutely crap like this, alongside of the fact that they were building a narrative within the DNC to bury Bernie, and that they were lamenting that he's not actually a Democrat. He doesn't understand the process. You know, it blows my mind. Completely awestruck that you have somebody who claims to be very – actually, I believe she's made the claim that she's one of the most transparent politicians, and yet time and time again things leak.
I believe that was a misquote. I think it was translucent.
Oh.
I saw her in that white dress and that pale, thin skin, but
right.
It's almost like a ghost. I don't know.
Whatever it is, if it is a ghost, it needs to go away, and it needs to go away sometime soon, because for the good of this country, you know, we need to see something different. So let's move past the email, because we could be here again for hours. Let's talk about what actually happened at the convention. Did you see Sarah Silverman get on stage?
I did.
How excited for you as your favorite comedian?
Yeah, my favorite comedian. The only thing Sarah Silverman has ever done of any consequence to me was she fucked Adam Carolla a couple times and put a smile on his face. Beyond that, I'm not really a fan of her. She was good as the glitch in Wreck-It Ralph.
Yeah,
That's the only other nice thing I can say, and I'm getting off topic, but you know,
she hasn't said one damn funny thing, and I don't know what the DNC has this perpetuancy to bring on celebrities as if that gives them more credibility, as if these celebrities are some worldly person that we should listen to. I mean, they had people like, and no offense to their talent, Boys to Men, Katy Perry, Sarah Silverman. I mean, Al Franken is a freaking comedian who's an elected politician in Minnesota. And then you have Bernie, who's a joke. So they have, I guess comedians maybe do run in their party, but why Sarah Silverman nonetheless would get up on stage and then lambaste the Bernie people for not supporting Hillary, as if they're the ones that don't have principles. I believe her direct quote was, to the Bernie or bust people, you're being ridiculous. Hillary is our Democratic nominee, and I will proudly vote for her. So you should do the same. Like, again, kind of sounding like what happened with the Trump people on the Republican side. Nobody's allowed to vote their conscience. Nobody's allowed to vote what they think. You must fall in line.
And I believe that was before the roll call vote, too, was it not?
Yeah, it was. It was. And what's funny about the roll call vote is there's actually an audio clip. The Bernie people didn't know that Bernie was going to be nominated for president. So they actually still could have voted for two people who were still running for president. But Bernie, in his cowardice and readiness to sell out, instead walked on stage, and they essentially suspended the rules and allowed himself to nominate Hillary, therefore giving all his delegates, or those who would vote for him, into her nomination. So essentially she won 100% of the nomination due to this process, and didn't even give his voters the opportunity to vote for him, which is at least different than Cruz. Cruz at least allowed his people to have their say, you know?
Well, and I think it's funny, too. The media really blew up the Cruz thing, and the Cruz thing got to me. But I didn't see anything from the major news networks about the hundreds of people who walked out after Bernie sold out. But I did see today that people were trying to sell those chairs, or actually, they weren't selling the chairs. They were trying to pay people to sit in them.
Yeah, there was a big rumor coming out, and there was a video of a gentleman, and he's sitting in the convention hall, and he's recording himself, and he's looking out in the bleachers, and there's a lot of people sitting there, and he, according to his eyewitness account, was saying that people were being paid to sit in for the big speeches like Obama, like Hillary Clinton's, like anybody important who was talking, so they didn't get drowned out by boos from the Bernie people. And it's odd because looking back at the convention, when we listened to like somebody like Leon Panetta, who was the head of the CIA at one point, go out there, they were out there chanting anti-war stuff. They were out there yelling at him in multiple different aspects and drowning out his speech. But all of a sudden, you have the big names come out, and it's just complete unity. And it's really hard to believe that all of a sudden the Bernie people just fell in line with everything they were saying. So we can't necessarily verify because we don't have a receipt, but we're willing to bet that something happened fishy there, that people were showing up in droves to sit in seats. Actually, there was a video, now that I think of it, of a lady who interviewed one of these people. So now I think that we can't verify because we don't know exactly who this gentleman was, but he did admit, or claim to have admitted, to being a paid sit-in. I didn't even know that was a thing. What do you think that qualification is?
I would never know. I've only attended Libertarian and Republican conferences in the past, and I know people were paying good money just to get into those events. The idea of being paid to go to one of those events would blow my mind, because there were so many people at these other two just fighting to get in through the doors.
Yeah, I agree. Now, you guys, if you don't understand this, inside the convention, it looked mostly peaceful. If you looked outside the convention, first of all, you had a wall protecting the Democrats from anybody on the outside getting in, which is highly ironic. The second part of this...
I got to give Philadelphia some credit. I mean, they did their part to try and protect the nation. They put a wall around the DNC convention. Unfortunately, I think the Democrats are still going to make it out.
Yeah. So you're thinking that the wall was the other way around. I see what you're going with that. That would make much more sense. But again, I think you're right. They're probably going to make their grand escape. But if you want to know what some of the Bernie people were feeling, the first time Bernie comes out on stage and he says, we should support Hillary, let's take a listen to what they had to say to Bernie. What do you think, Keith?
Oh, I love this.
All right, let's see if we can get this rolling for you.
We have got to defeat and we have got to elect Hillary Clinton and Tim Kaine.
Oh boy. So clearly that didn't go over well for him. And that's Bernie's people turning on him.
That's a lot of delegates feeling burned right there. Yeah. And mind you, that recording was 2 days before the roll call vote.
Right.
2 days. They had 2 days to elect this man. And if we know anything about convention floors, your job at the convention is to whip votes, change hearts and minds. It's hard to do when your own candidate won't shut up with his endorsements of his competition.
Oh, absolutely. And the funny thing about it is everybody talks about how Bernie stood for something and Bernie didn't sell out. He's just doing what all the politicians do. If you don't believe he sold out, well, there was another email or it was an email leaked through the DNC. And in that email, the Sanders team is asking for private plane use in exchange for backing Hillary Clinton, because they think that could help sell his message. They think that'll help Bernie continue to exist. However, if you're willing to sell your soul to benefit your cause, but that means you have to partner with the person that your cause is fighting, I don't know how anybody else can describe that as not selling out.
So he's not the 1%, but he's not the 90%. They make him like that 1.5% milk with the yellow label that's just kind of oddly sitting there, that with the high expiration date.
Well, he did go back to being an independent. I don't know if you guys saw this either, but after the nomination process was set and he knew that Hillary was going to be nominated for president, he said, I've always been an independent and I go back to my people as an independent. So he's already left the Democratic Party. He sold out. He started with this campaign about, I am a Democrat, but this is what Democrats really are, not Hillary Clinton. Then he became Hillary Clinton, and then he removed himself again for the Democratic Party. So who knows what the hell Bernie's doing anymore. His people have lost their mind. They are not falling in line with Hillary Clinton. I have one more clip for you guys to hear, and this is actually a delegate who's outside the convention floor, and she's pretty pissed off at Hillary, and this is just to show you no matter how much the Democratic Party starts talking about the fact that they're unified, they are not remotely unified. So let's take a listen to what this lady has to say.
Oh, I love this cut. This one
Debbie
warmed my
Wasserman
heart.
Schultz stepped down to appease us, and Hillary hired her 2 split seconds later to run her campaign. It shows that Hillary's involved in all of it, as is Obama. I am going to wait to see where I think my vote will most hurt Hillary. I might even vote Trump. I've been a Democrat my whole life. I'm 60 years old, and it'll be the first time I've ever cast a vote for a Republican. But if it'll keep Hillary out of office, I'll vote Trump.
So
Now,
that's amazing.
I don't know about you, but she sounds like she's ready to feel some Johnson.
Yeah, she might be ready to feel the Johnson. If only, we could get to her. Although something tells me if she's thinking about going from Hillary to Trump and she's not more intelligent to kind of look into that a little bit more, she may not see Johnson anyway. But you guys can tell that the Bernie people are ready to keep marching.
Yeah, she's making the first step. It's actually wonderful to hear people not falling in line. And I think that's what Hillary was counting on was, well, they may have campaigned against me for 4 months, but the pros will fall in line.
Right.
And they're not. And it makes me pretty happy.
Well, yeah, and there's an article talking about that too that said that some in the Sanders army seem determined to march on without him. So even though he's sold out, they're continuing the mission, the principles. Actually, one guy was quoted as saying that it was like Bernie gave us a bunch of Mountain Dew and then told us to go to bed. I don't know if anybody's ever had a lot of Mountain Dew, but you ain't going to bed anytime soon. That
is a metaphor only this generation could make.
Oh, absolutely. So it just blows my mind that even Bernie, like that just shows how disconnected Bernie was, though, right? Like it shows how disconnected from his own people and the people he thought believed in him, how disconnected he was from them, because he should have seen this coming. If he truly believed the principles that he was preaching, he would have seen this coming.
Well, I'm gonna stop you right there, and I'm gonna highlight at least one principle he taught us well. And I can't take the credit for this thought. This came from Stefan Molyneux. He actually said Bernie promised a cheaper or free education. Well, the average donation from a Bernie supporter was about $27. For just $27, he gave them an education in DNC ethics. And I think that's a lesson that a lot of these people did need to learn. And they learned it at a ripe early age. Who knows? These people, having faced this type of corruption, I hate using Ron Paul and Bernie Sanders in the same breath. Forgive me, Ron Paul. But it was, some of the best libertarians were the Ron Paul followers who were completely spurned by their party in 2012. Perhaps some of the new generation of libertarians can come from the ranks of the Bernie supporters who have a very legitimate claim. They worked very hard. They played by the rules, and they found out the system had it in for them from the start. If that doesn't tell you that the systems of government are corrupt and impossible to beat on your own, I don't know what will. I mean, Bernie was the dream, and he sold out.
Yep, he absolutely did. And the funny thing is, too, there was a report talking about how Bernie said don't vote for the Green Party. He literally told his people, the people he built on principle, not to vote their principles. Beyond just saying, I endorse and I want you to vote for Hillary Clinton, he told them not to vote Green Party.
Wait. Does that make Bernie a sexist now?
Apparently now, because he does not. Maybe it's a Jill Stein thing. Oh, well, he can't be, because if he's voting for Hitler,
well, think about
what
this.
Hillary is up in the air. We're not quite sure. She may wear different
as a
sheets.
Graduate of women's studies,
oh.
I can tell you, Hillary is not the first woman to be nominated to a major party. In fact, Andrea Woodhull ran with Frederick Douglass back in the 1860s as the first woman to ever run for office. And that was taught to us in the first week. Now, Tony Nathan, the LP vice presidential candidate, got the first electoral vote back in 1971. These are not small accomplishments, and Hillary's glossed over it. Now, if you just want to say, well, that's ancient history. Well, let's go back to 2012. Jill Stein was the Green Party nominee, in 2012. And if I remember correctly, the Green Party is a large enough political force that they cost Gore the vote down in Florida. So don't tell me this is about a major party. The Greens are a major and serious force. And as a libertarian, we take them very seriously because they're competition, but we also see them as basically the more principled people on the left. Jill has done great in this election cycle on calling out Hillary. She's done a lot of things that frankly, Bernie has been too afraid to do. And I think she's right for calling out Hillary. And I think everyone should call out Hillary on this bogus narrative that she is the first woman to run for office, because it does women a disservice. I can't believe it. It's complete. It's like she's trying to perpetuate the patriarchy and put a glass ceiling above all their heads.
Right. It's kind of like giving yourself awards at some point. Like, it's almost like you just choose to give yourself titles and awards just to kind of up your accolade. It frankly pisses me off. Like, there's nobody else in society who could actually just sit there and say, well, it's monumental because I'm doing it. Right. If Jill Stein was nominated and of the Democratic Party, I don't think Jill Stein would be saying the same things about Hillary Clinton. I think Jill Stein would be smart enough to say, well, no, there are women before me who paved this road. And that's not to take away from anything that they accomplished, or for Hillary's case, stole to get where they are. But at the same time, you can't sit there and claim something that you don't have a claim to.
But let's look at the difference between the DNC and the three other major parties. The DNC has had 4 days of identity politics, where I have seen them haul out people in wheelchairs. I've seen them haul out midgets. I've seen them specifically haul out an illegal immigrant, which blows my mind, because what message does that send? If you jump the wall at the DNC, you get arrested.
Not only that, it was a child. They had a child of an illegal immigrant on. And this child went on there and said, I can't vote for Trump because I'm terrified that my family would be deported. Which kind of pisses me off, because if you're really that terrified that you're going to be deported, why would you give a national speech where everybody knows who you are? Like,
yeah, not to mention, right now, by the numbers, Obama has deported more illegal immigrants than Bush could have ever dreamed of.
Oh, exactly.
I mean, that's a major contention in the immigrant community right where I'm from, is they have faced much stricter guidelines under this administration than under the previous.
Right. And it's funny, and to kind of tailor this back into the DNC and the corruption that is that, when they push this message of party unity, and clearly, like, anybody who's paying attention can see the burners are not on board with the Hillary Trump, Freudian slip maybe, with the Hillary Clinton people, right? They're just not, they're not going to go along. But what pisses me off is when I see the media doing the same thing. And to give you this one instance, is I was watching CNN, and they were going through the coverage of a protest that was outside the gates, where it was the day one, and the delegates were about to enter the building. Well, the Bernie people laid down on the ground, one by one, in front of the gates. They couldn't open the gate, and the Bernie people couldn't walk. I'm sorry, the Hillary people couldn't walk. In the middle of this protest, as it's getting good, the juicy part, if you're watching a car accident, it's right before the car's about to hit. People are about to start losing their minds. CNN goes, oh, we have breaking news. Boys to Men is performing on stage. And I was just left sitting there going, Boys to Men is far more important than the protest of these people who are trying to stand on some sort of principle, even though I completely disagree with what they stand for. They're standing for something, and CNN thought it more important to go cover Boys to Men. So the situation is terrible.
I haven't seen anything that ridiculous from when they were talking to Ron Paul and they cut to Justin Bieber. I mean, if it couldn't be any more clear, and I think a lot of the DNC emails did make it clear, because you had these major networks running basically their media schedules by the DNC for approval. If it doesn't make it clear that the DNC controls the media outside of maybe Fox News, and let's be honest, the left is always telling us that Fox News is broadcasting lies. Well, they tend to broadcast Democrats really often. So I'm not going to disagree with them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because now we're looking at this and like, okay, yeah, a lot of that's shady, a lot of that's manipulation, but where's the corruption? Well, I've got something for corruption for you, and this kind of looks more like what happened at the RNC, where the delegates and the people were being ignored by their party. So there's a story out of Breitbart News that's talking about there was an anti-Tim Kaine movement, and they had garnered enough people and a candidate to run against Kaine for the nomination of vice president. Well, when they had filled out the paperwork, or they needed to fill out paperwork in order to get Kaine on the ballot or on the nomination floor, and when they went to go get the paperwork, they were told that I'm sorry, let me read the quote to you. They were told that they had to request the paperwork from the Democrat Party email account. So they're at the actual event. They're being told that they have to email somebody now, wait for a return, which is far easier to ignore than somebody in person. And their quote after that was, "I said, 'Are you sure? That doesn't seem like a very secure way for me to get the forms you were looking for.'" And they said, funnily enough, we got zero response. So if that doesn't tell you that the parties have already pre-planned this, everything's supposed to be an orchestrated, greased machine so that it flows nicely.
Hold on, Cody.
Yeah.
You think it's possible it was intercepted by the Russians?
It could have been possible that their emails got deleted or that it was hacked. It's hard to tell which happened. The server was destroyed. So, it could be any of those reasons. We're going to have to wait for WikiLeaks. And apparently WikiLeaks is claiming that they have enough information that they're about to drop that will indict Hillary. I mean, we've heard this before, but every time we hear it, it's something to listen to, because if they're right one time, that's all it takes. And then we would have, for the first time in United States history, a nominated major party candidate who could be indicted. I mean, and I know everybody's like, oh, she won't ever be indicted, but you never know. All it takes is one time, right? All it takes is one time, and we've got our fingers crossed.
Now, this is just all conjecture, but don't you find it odd that you picked Tim Kaine and not pick Bernie Sanders?
Yeah. Bernie Sanders, to me, would have seemed like the easy choice. It would have seemed like the party unity choice. If Hillary really wanted to bring the burners on, but I don't think she wanted to be pushed that far to the left. I don't think she wanted to be anti-war. Those things don't benefit her, and more importantly, they don't benefit the Hillary or the Clinton Foundation, right? They don't Hillarize. I keep having Freudian slips. They do not benefit the money that they're able to embezzle through that foundation.
Man, could you imagine too? If only she were to include Bill Weld as her VP, she could be included in the polls.
Right. Everybody needs a Bill Weld. Maybe we could change Vermin Supreme's policy to, instead of a pony for everybody, a Bill Weld for everybody, and then everybody's polled.
That would be amazing. But let's keep an eye on those polls, because I think that 15% is coming. The last I saw, ABC had Gary sitting at 13%. NBC had him sitting at 12%. He's slowly creeping up, and a lot of these Bernie supporters, I think they've wisened up. I've been critical of them in the past. I'm going to change my tune, and I'm going to welcome them with open arms. This may get me some grief from my more right-wing libertarian friends, but listen, I'm not asking the Bernsters to come in and sit on executive committees, but I am asking you, don't compromise your principles. Don't vote for Hillary. I'm not asking you to vote for Trump. Just make a principled choice. I'm not even saying you have to vote for Johnson. Just do yourselves a favor and research Bernie's kind of doppelganger and Jill Stein. Or even better, Gary Johnson, I side with 70% like just like Bernie. I gave him a hard time for that, but you know what? There may be something in there for you. He's great on foreign policy, wants to keep our troops at home, wants to have a less interventionist policy, which when you compare that to Hillary is more of a hawk than even Trump is. And I find myself struggling to vote for Trump. Though if you want to raise the minimum wage, Trump has in the last couple of days been a lot more vocal about raising the minimum wage than Hillary ever has.
Supporting a $10.
Maybe Bernie voters, maybe Trump's your guy. Or if you want to come over to the hard work side and get free doobies and all the weed you want, go for the pot CEO and Gary Johnson. This guy ran a blue state, and he ran it with great numbers. It's weird. I don't find myself often promoting him, but he is perfect for you guys.
Yeah, they tend to align too on a lot of their issues that they find with Bernie, in terms of the social contact with people, in terms of having just criminal justice reform, ending corporate welfare, where we're helping these giant corporations subsidize things. They align a lot.
Johnson's been strong on LGBT rights too, which Hillary
Absolutely.
Clinton hasn't come out as a supporter. She was on the record in 2008 in support of traditional marriage only. It took 2013 for her to even say one positive thing about the LGBT movement. Now, you got the original libertarian, trademark, Bill Weld, who has been a strong advocate as our VP, and you got Gary Johnson, who has been a fantastic ambassador of the same message. Let's keep the government out of the bedroom. Let's keep the government out of that. I mean, I can't believe I'm saying that, but guys, feel the Johnson.
Feel it.
If there was ever a time, Burners, to reach out and feel our Johnson over here in the LP, now is the time.
It is. Well, so now we've kind of covered the Bernie part of this. We've covered the DNC emails. Let's talk about Hillary's speech and the kind of things that she talked about in her nomination speech. What caught me kind of funny is the first, I don't know, what would you say, 45 minutes of her speech was just pure like kerfuffle. It didn't go anywhere. It was white noise.
To be fair, it was a recycling of her standard campaign stump speech that she's used for the last 6 months.
Right.
To anyone like you and me who follow this stuff day in, day out, it wasn't particularly exciting. I even got to hear my favorite line of, well, if you like shameless pandering and raising volume, instead of actually having any kind of integrity, then deal me in. I might have paraphrased.
That was really good. I enjoyed that part. That part I almost enjoyed as much as when she said the Democrats are the party of working people.
I don't know where she
They
gets
put
that.
more people. They put more people on welfare than any other party in any existence anywhere. It feels like. I know that's probably not true. Don't hold me to that fact. But the point is, the party of working people would be whoever they tax the hell out of, right? Whoever's getting their money, taxation is theft. Whoever's getting their money stolen from them, that's the people that are the working people, not the Democrats voting to take your money away. Blows my mind that they talk about that.
I ask about something. It's not exactly Hillary related, but I can't talk about Hillary for more than 3 minutes without my blood boiling. Let's talk about the choice of language at the convention. And this was repeated in Hillary's speech, but I believe it was Elizabeth Warren who first brought it up, and then Drew Carey who later responded to it. Do we need a national mommy and daddy?
No,
The way these Democrats speak to their base, saying, we want to be your daddy, it's almost creepy.
It's creepy, but it's also it's not demoralizing. It's patronizing. You are patronizing your people, and they eat it up.
And and that's been one of my criticisms of Obama for the last 8 years is I frankly don't like the idea that he speaks to the American public at a 3rd grade level. I know the man is far more intelligent than that, and I know the American public is far more intelligent than that, but it's almost like he's trying to revert us back, or they're just trying to, I don't know. I originally thought the government was supposed to exist to protect our most basic rights. I've never understood the government as a parental figure. And Drew Carey came out and said, I'm supporting Gary Johnson because I don't need a national daddy.
Right. And he hit the nail on the head. And looking at what Hillary talked about in her speech, where she's talking about college or free college tuition, debt-free from all student loans, affordable childcare, taxing the 1%, and in order to fund these things, a minimum wage, affordable health care, expanding Social Security, and abortion. Okay? And I know that's a divisive issue, but we need to have another conversation about how we push these issues. We had a lady screaming her abortion in the DNC. And no matter what view of abortion you have, whether you're pro-choice or pro-life, it's still not something we should celebrate. I understand that there are people who disagree with my pro-life stance, but that doesn't mean that anytime you have an abortion, it should be a celebratory experience. But that's beside the point. These people have now put their responsibility in the hands of the government. They hold no responsibility. So yes, they do feel they need a mommy or a daddy because that's what they have relegated themselves to.
Yeah, and if government is your daddy or your mommy, that means what? Welfare is your allowance? Is that
apparently,
the way we're looking at this?
Apparently, I can't explain it. It's not something I believe in. And the funny part to me, too, is they always talk about how everybody deserves a job. Everybody gets a job that they want, right? Or they talk about this other facade that is...
You get a job, and you get a job.
Yeah, we're all on Oprah. We're all on Oprah. Everybody gets what they want. But the funnier part to me is they keep perpetuating this equal pay for women thing. Specifically, Hillary's pandering about it again. And there's numerous studies that prove that it's complete bullshit, and that it has to do with different variables in the workforce, different choices made between men and women.
Christina Hoff Sommers does a fantastic breakdown.
She's great. Absolutely. But what's really funny is that when Hillary ran her Senate campaign, she paid women 72 cents on the dollar to men. So how can you sit there and pander about this and you didn't even do it yourself? It blows my mind. So how are we supposed to believe that you're going to do anything that you tell us you're going to do when clearly you don't have a track record of it? In fact, your track record is worse than not doing it. Your track record proves you're a liar. Your track record proves you don't care. And your track record proves that you're not even a reliable source of information.
I don't know, Cody. You're sounding awfully sexist.
Oh, you can call me a sexist all day long, and I'll tell it straight to that man's face. But
I mean,
it's
is the year where hundreds of thousands of voting Americans who opposed the DNC go from being racist to being sexist. I'm calling it.
Everything's an ist.
Tomorrow, I bet you, we will find at least one op-ed in the New York Times that refers to the sexism of Hillary's opposition.
I don't doubt it for 1 second. But what can you do? We're just sitting here. We're trying to push liberty. We're trying to show you guys what's wrong with these people. We're trying to add some wit and humor to it. We goof around. We make mistakes here, too, as you can tell by earlier in this video where I repeated the same thing Keith already said, But,
hey, that's such a good point. We had to make it twice.
Exactly.
Oh, so nice. You got to say it twice.
But, there were some fun things that did happen at this convention. There were some things that gave me a good chuckle other than, crying Bernie supporters and Hillary coughing every 5 seconds in her speech. It really wasn't a cough. It was like a hack. But she's had that issue forever. Did you hear about the flag criticism that they had their first couple of days?
I did, and I've got to come out and level. I see a nice American flag on your hat, but I didn't see an American flag on the stage at the LP convention either.
Yes, there were, actually. There were, but they were off to the sides. They weren't, I don't believe they were center stage. They were off to the sides. But irrelevant. So I wanted to tell you the story because I think you're going to find it pretty funny. So,
all right.
Excuse me. So all the Republicans are going bananas over this, right? They're sitting there saying they're not patriotic. They're not patriotic because they don't have flags. Which, first off, is bullshit. Like, okay, I'm one of the biggest fans of the American flag. It's all over a bunch of my T-shirts, yada yada. But that doesn't make you patriotic or not patriotic. It's all pandering in the first place. So you could put somebody up there who is the least patriotic person and they're going to throw a flag behind him, and it has nothing to do with the person. So I could care less. But the funny part to me was all of a sudden at Philadelphia City Hall, their flags, they have 6 flags that sit outside their building, were missing. And all of a sudden, there were flags at the DNC convention in Philadelphia. And when somebody went in and asked the building, the City Hall, somebody at City Hall, they said, hey, where are your flags? This is, their quote was, they asked not to be named, and they said that the U.S. flags that are typically atop the City Hall flagpoles have been moved to the Democratic National Convention. So they didn't go buy flags. They didn't have flags prepared. They went and took them down from City Hall's flagpoles.
Well, is that being fiscally prudent?
No, that's not what they were thinking. We all know that's not. They're sitting there talking about college-free tuition and debt-free from all student loans, and excuse me, I'm turning into Hillary. Supporting the expansion of Social Security and all of these other things that just take your money. Why would they do that over $3 flags? You know what I mean? It just sounds like they had an oh shit moment. Somebody said we need flags, and somebody said, oh, I saw some at City Hall, and that's what they did. That's just kind of comical to me. The other funny thing, did you see Dean? Why am I blanking on his last name now? Howard Dean. I'm sorry, Howard Dean. Did you see his little 5-minute speech that he gave?
I did not. I was not aware I assumed he spoke, but
well, you know what he's famous for, right? You know what he's famous for most recently.
Listen, he won my enthusiasm over with his enthusiasm. When
right.
He won the Dean state, just when he got to Maine, I was right there with him. Like, yeah, even though they mentioned.
He let me down so big. He let me down so big. So he's out there giving his speech, and he starts going through the states, and I'm like, oh my God, it's coming. Oh my God, he's going to scream. We're going to get to do this again. I'm ready to scream with him. And then he walked off stage. That's
why he's going to lose California. That's why Trump's taking California.
I don't know about that, but okay,
I know Gary's gonna get it.
Absolutely. No, I'm just the polls here have been so skewed that nobody has a shot here. They could run Charles Manson for president, and he'd win as if he was a Democrat, and they'd make up some excuse as to why his past didn't matter and how he didn't delete emails, and that's why he was better than the previous candidates and all this other nonsense.
Didn't Vermin Supreme poll extremely well in California?
I didn't see that poll, but it wouldn't surprise me. We are very pro. We're very pro toothpaste and very pro pony, so that wouldn't surprise me out here.
Interesting.
But there was one more thing that did catch my eye, and this happened to do with one of the BLM protests that was out front. Did you catch this, Keith?
Well, let's talk about it a little bit, and I'll see if I did.
Well, so the BLM people are out there protesting, and there's this lady on a bullhorn, and she's yelling at the reporters, and she goes, "Hey, white guy." She goes, "You better get to the back." And he's like, "What?" She goes, "All you white reporters need to get to the back of the line." And I'm just like, wait a minute. You're segregating your protest? Isn't that kind of what you guys are fighting not to do? This is sort of confusing.
We know Black Lives Matter is not an all-inclusive thing. We know it is a rehashing, word for word, of the KKK's platform. Yes, they said segregation in the 1960s. Now it's called safe spaces. I think it's all bullshit. We should just get along and stop being hyphen Americans.
Agreed.
We're just Americans.
Agreed.
I must still stay a little nationalist, and I'm not going to say we're all citizens of the world, because I do think borders matter. I'm sorry.
All borders matter.
I'm sorry, libertarian purists and ANCAPs out there. Borders are cool. And if you disagree with me, you're no better than the Trump moderators who banned me last night when I asked Trump and his AMA if I could get a northern border wall. Because
we both got banned.
Canadians overrunning my beaches with their little orange Speedos and requesting mayonnaise with their French fries. We don't have mayonnaise for your French fries. We don't have enough for the cheeseburgers. Fucking deal with it.
It's very frustrating when you get trumped, or you get trumped by Trump, when you get banned out of Trump's Ask Me Anything before Trump even makes it there. And I think we were the only two that may have accomplished that feat.
Close to my heart.
Yeah, all I wanted to know is what Trump's favorite amendment was and what he would do to protect the 12th one. The 12th article of the Constitution, because he was talking about that, and it doesn't really exist. So that was interesting. They pretty much found out we were trolls right away, Keith and his wall, and me wanting to know about this amendment. And,
I'm not a troll. I ran out of mayonnaise at least twice this summer at work. I'm not thrilled with this.
Well, hopefully we can get you some mayonnaise out there, and maybe you can talk to Vermin about, or even Gary. Let's talk to Gary and get a pro mayonnaise for Maine. That sounds like a great idea to do.
I mean, hey, if we had better trade trade policies and lower interstate protections, the price of mayonnaise would drop, and I wouldn't have this war with Canadians. But right now, you've got these protectionist platforms being put out by Hillary and Trump, which will cause the price of mayonnaise to go through the roof, allowing Canadian invaders to bleed us dry. And it's not fair because we don't get to charge them for mayonnaise.
Right. That's unfortunate. It really is unfortunate. But, let's tie this all back together. I think we're almost at the end of this episode. We were exhausted. It's hard to listen to Hillary go on for an hour and not, lose train of thought every once in a while. So I'm glad you guys bore with us during this this long, lengthy dumpster fire that we covered. Keith, all I can say is that having been to the LNC convention, to the Libertarian National Convention in Orlando, watching James Weeks get his tubby body up on stage and dance and thinking, how could this get worse? DNC is how it can get worse. The RNC is how it can get worse. We may have a little bit of eccentricness in our party, but we don't have the complete overriding of delegates. We don't have the complete nonsense of shutting people down. And we don't have the protests that go on outside where people are throwing urine at each other, segregating each other, climbing walls, right? I think that speaks volumes to the message we present.
Yeah, I'll second your motion. I mean, I will take James Weeks' pasty ass over just what we've seen between the booing of principles in the Constitution over in the RNC, and I still can't believe they built a wall around the DNC.
It's great. It's
their wall
it's
bad.
Fantastic.
Trump wall bad, our wall good.
Yeah. If Trump would have shown up there, that would have been great. If Trump would have walked up and put his name, just put a big Trump sticker across that wall, it may have made me think about voting him for about 30 seconds.
You know what would be even more amazing? Is if they hired Trump to construct the wall.
Yes. If it was just like Trump steel, that would have been great.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So, guys, I think we're going to wrap this episode up here. We've talked about a lot. If you guys have questions about anything we talked about or you think we missed something, shoot us a message. We want everybody to get involved in Maine, get involved in California, get involved across all 50 states. We need to start making liberty the mainstream go-to message, so we don't have to continue watching these dumpster fires. We don't have to watch Sarah Silverman, grandstand about how Bernie supporters aren't standing for their principles and falling in line and voting for Hillary. We don't have a female president who has lambasted females her entire career and claims to be a feminist. I don't know what else there is to say there, Keith. You want to leave them off with some kind of uplifting call to action so that way they jump in for us?
Well, all I can say, guys, is you fought a good fight. You learned where the cards are actually stacked. And even though, Hillary asked you to deal her in, she's still holding an ace. Don't get played again. Come play with us. We're going to play fair and square. We're going to have fun. And we're going to take this country back. We're not going to make America great again, though. America was always great. We don't need Trump for this crap. We don't need Hillary for this crap. What we need to get rid of is this two-party duopoly. If we can break that thinking and you people reach out and help us, I don't care if you vote for Jill Stein or Gary Johnson or even write in Vermin Supreme. Just don't be victims to these people who prey on you. Trump, Hillary, they are no different. But the message of liberty, that's something that can unite us all. What more could you want? It's the founding principle. Otherwise, we would be like the Canadians, still subjects of the crown and putting mayonnaise on our French fries.
All right, guys. With that, we will leave you for this episode. Thank you for listening. Again, if you want to check us out, check out the other podcast at www.libertycoast.com. That's www.libertycoast.com. You can find us on Facebook, on Twitter. If you're wondering where you can stream us from, we're on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, TuneIn, pretty much anywhere you think you can find a podcast, look for us. With that, we leave you here. We're going to leave you with this hashtag, come play with the Johnson. That's all we got, guys.
All right.
right, so I'm going to stop the broadcast and then we will chat.